Yeah, that's a good question. This magical world of opera was a very unknown world to me. I saw my first opera in the age of 24. My world of music was church music. I studied organ and church music, and I worked in the church already, and that was my thing: organ playing, chorus conducting, and so. And by the way, I was singing most of the time early and baroque music, yes, and most people said to me, "But you, with your voice, you have to sing opera." And I was never convinced because I always thought, oh God, opera singing is really awful. It's like some of the woodwinds, yeah, worse than two opera singers is three opera singers at the same moment. Uh, but somehow I got some tickets through the Richard Wagner Verband to see my first opera, three operas, in Bayreuth at the festival in 1986 when I was 24. And I was very much impressed, but even though I heard Matti Salminen singing King Mark in Tristan and Isolde, and I thought, my goodness, this is so great, don't think about singing anymore. So even though somehow it came to the point that I was pushed more and more, and yeah, I sang opera then. I started with the age of 27, and even though when I started singing in the opera house, I didn't know really a lot about it. I was really, treated very hard and convinced I have to do this. I was not convinced by myself, but then, yeah, it came, and my first part was Il Re in Aida, and then, the stone was rolling. Tja, what is a normal day? Most of the time in this business is learning, learning new parts, memorize, learning also. For example, at the moment I'm learning dialogue text. Yeah, which is very special thing for an opera singer because most of the time we are learning our singing, and if you have a German Singspiel, for example, like here also Fidelio with a German dialogue text, even though as a German we have to really practice it because it's not the thing we do every day. And then I'm doing lieder recitals is one of my favorite things in between the operas. Sometimes I find time for that. So this is my big love. And if I do nothing about music and I'm at home, then sometimes, I love to sit in my garden once in a while, and otherwise, when I'm at home, I play one or two times. Then a little bit my organ. I have an organ at home, a digital church organ with 3 manuals, pedal, and 40 registers, and so it reminds me a little bit of my old days and what I've lost with not practicing this. But it's still fun, and then I love to go to museums when I travel around and I'm walking through the cities. I try not to take any taxis or bus or metro. I walk through all the cities as far as I can, and then I learn them, and that's a great excitement. I think no is one of the most important words for an opera singer, because you always have to make the decision what is good for you, what is good for you at that moment of your career, especially for a beginner, but also after 20 years. Yeah, you have to make decisions. Is it the right thing? You should sing this and this repertoire. Um, and I would say I had, when I was a very beginner, yeah, as I said before, I had no background from opera. So I started, my first role was Il Re in Aida, and then the second already should be Pogner in Meistersinger from Richard Wagner. And this is not a very long part, but it's a Wagner opera. And it's a huge monologue that Pogner has to sing. And it's very difficult, especially for a low bass. And I always call it Hans Sachs for beginners. And I tried to sing it because I thought, I'm a young singer, I'm not allowed to say no. And then the conductor came and I had a musical rehearsal with him, and he asked me after a couple of minutes, what do you think? How do you feel? And I said, I tell you the truth, I can't do it. It is too early. I'm getting ill, yeah, because I try, but it is too early. And when I think about singing this with a huge Wagnerian orchestra, I cannot sleep anymore somehow. And he said, you're absolutely right. It's a shame to ask a young singer for especially this part. So he convinced my intendant that someone else should do it, and I was released. I was really released and could go with other things. Yes, and so it is very important, and I learned a very important lesson out of this. Through my whole career, I made very carefully decisions what I want to sing. And this is one of the things also that it is for me very important, even though I sing Wagner, I sang Verdi, and so, but in between I sing lieder recitals. It's very good for the voice, and you can see after half an hour if this is still working, this voice, and it's also great fun. The most intimacy, making of music, and a great thing, chamber music, and I'm singing concerts, and this is very important to me. Before Fidelio, before I came here to Madrid, I had a production of Parsifal. I sang Gurnemanns in Frankfurt. After this Fidelio production, I'm going to Aix-en-Provence to the festival, and I'm doing there a new production of Entführung aus dem Serail, El Rapto en el Serrallo, and singing Osmin. And yeah, and after that, I'm doing concerts in Salzburg at the festival with the Vienna Philharmonic and Yannick Nézet-Séguin. Then I have 1 month off, very good, the whole August. And then I do something completely different. I'm doing Seneca in L'Incoronazione di Poppea, in a new production in Vienna at the Theater an der Wien with Spinosi and Klaus Guth. Yeah, how does it affect me? I always say to the colleagues, don't be so happy about the very good critics that you don't have to bother about the bad ones. The most important thing is you have to be your hardest critic. Yeah, you have to know what you did the evening on stage, and then for sure there are things. For example, today I got an email from the Paris Opera where I sang a lieder recital, and it was a very nice review. So I liked it very much, I have to say. And most of the time, but I have to say, it is in these days when you do an opera production, even though a new opera production, there is not very much that is said about the singers. So that is sometimes a disappointment, because what would be an opera production without singing? I'm coming back to Teatro Real, to this wonderful theater, next year, also for a production of Parsifal and singing Gurnemanns, yeah. And it's a production that is coming from Barcelona, from Klaus Gut. The staging, I heard very good things about it. I'm looking forward to. And Semyon Bishkov, with whom I worked many times, especially Tristan and Isolde. We did with several productions and orchestras in concert version and on stage. And so I'm looking forward to do this. Yeah, thanks to you, thanks to Opera World. It's a great success and great fun to do this. And I saw some of these videos before from other colleagues and always liked it very much because it's very personal, and all the best. Yeah.